all got like our school colors on, whether we care or not. But we're all here. We're here for the first time. Some of us have been here for a while, but I think we need to do a little something to bring us all together and get us into the mood for the evening. So, here we go. Stick with me. Can you hear me? Everybody, ready?
Yes.
Give me an M.
M.
Give me a Y.
Y.
Give me a C.
C.
Give me a U.
U.
Give me an N.
N.
Give me a T.
T.
What's that spell?
My
What's
God.
that spell?
My God.
I've heard far too many tired metaphors about my vagina. Folks, you have got to be more humble. You are basking in the glow of your creators every day. Right now, even. And you don't even have the decency to lower your gaze. Soften your voice. Model yourself in her image for a change. You know, my cunt is a lady of the world. She's able to ask for directions in 5 different languages. She's able to give directions in 6, but no one ever inquires. They just congratulate themselves upon finding Atlantis. So I just go on ahead and let them think they found Atlantis damn near every time. It's just easier that way. You know what I'm talking about. And when they promise fireworks, well, this never amounts to more than the signaling of the daily closing of my amusement park. Ooh, baby, it's the same show every night. When they say they want to worship at my temple, now we're getting somewhere. But a deity so powerful as a goddess has no use for just any kind of worship. You need to prove your devotion. You need to build me a motherfucking temple before you can worship me in it, you follow? And this will not be just any temple. This will be a temple of Mayan proportions built with 3,000-pound bricks that grind grooves into your sunburnt spine while you're fighting off swarm after swarm of malaria-infested mosquitoes. And when you are finally finished, I want sacrifices. Nothing much, just some major, irresponsible, warmongering, government-scale sacrifices. My cunt is a place of blood, guts, alpha and omega of life, and I expect you to respect and honor it as such. Because for as powerful as my cunt may be, it is indeed cradled in a velvet glove. For every place where my velveteen has been loved off in your favorite spots or crushed in a mouth so clumsy it finds no word better than pussy to describe the sacred knowledge and treasures embedded in these bodies that brought you into this world. I promise there are infinitely more left undiscovered that you will never know. Thank you so much. Keep your applause rolling. We come all the way to you from Austin, Texas. Keep it going. We've been on the road a long time. We're so happy to be here. And bring up to the stage, Big Papa E.
Hey everybody. So check this out. Just about 2 months ago, we were working in our cubicles at Apple Computer. And there was the big Apple Computer employee talent show. And they asked me to do a poem, so I said, okay. And they said, go ahead and do a poem about what it's like to work on the phones. And I said, okay. 2 days later, I was fired for my poem. But if you Google why I got fired by Apple Computer, you'll see that my YouTube video has been viewed 1.3 million times, so fuck you, Apple. Erin was working in a cubicle at Apple as well, and she was about, I don't know, to hang herself. So when she heard that I was gonna go on tour, she was like, fuck it, I quit too. So we got together, had a coffee, because we hardly knew each other, and we ended up going, yeah, fuck it, let's sell everything. So we sold everything we own. We got rid of everything. She sold her car to some lady she met on Craigslist, and I donated mine to the NPR station in our town. We reduced our entire lives to backpacks and rolly bags, and now we live here right now. If you wanted to send us a postcard, you'd have to get it to us before we left, because that's where we live. At any time, at any moment, that's exactly where we live. So, fuck yeah, that's our story. So here's a poem, if I can find it. Here it is. It's for my people. It starts with a quote. Height is not measured from the ground up, but from the sky down. Napoleon Bonaparte. It always happens. When I rock a microphone, I feel 10 foot tall and luminous, steel-toed and bulletproof. But then I walk triumphantly off stage, and inevitably, some tall fucker walks up to me and feels compelled to state the obvious. Wow, Big Papa E, you're not very big, now are you? Well, allow me to fashion a witty retort. Fuck all y'all tall motherfuckers, short people, raw! Being short is not a shortcoming, it's a strength. All it takes to turn a tall person into a whiny little bitch is a road trip. But me, I'm stretching out and going to sleep. Fuck yeah. Right? If this venue were engulfed in smoke and flames like a great white concert, all you tall people would drop to your knees trying to suck up all the good air. But us short people, we just walk right the fuck out. It's all good air when you're this short. We short people are built for maximum maneuverability, dodging through crowds like liquid mercury, avoiding knees and elbows with acrobatic agility. Question, if a tall person trips and falls alone in the forest, will there be a sound? Answer, fuck yeah, there'd be a sound. But me, I'm already so low to the ground that falling is like laying my head on a pillow. And I never bump my head on anything. If I bump my head on something, that's just too fucking low. And don't talk to me about reaching shit, oh hell no. That's why the good Lord invented chairs and tall people. Yo, Michael Jordan, give me that tuna can off the top shelf now, bitch! And yes, the rumors are true. Us short guys do indeed have small penises. That is, if you think a throbbing purple Eiffel Tower of flesh is small. Tall people are up to no good. All the truly innovative thinkers of the modern age have been short. Einstein, 5'3". Gandhi, 5'2". Tori Amos, 5'1". Shigeru Miyamoto, the creative genius behind Donkey Kong and Super Mario Brothers, 4'9", bitches! Now, I don't want you to think that I'm drinking haterade. That's not what I'm all about with me. It's all love, love, you know. So. Fuck tall people! Fuck tall people who stand in front of you at concerts and movies. Fuck tall people who take up the whole damn bed like they own it. Fuck tetherball. I fucking hate tetherball. Whoever's gonna tetherball's a fucking jackass. And fuck basketball too. The only good thing about the basketball is that the NBA has corralled those who shall be shot first. Oh yes, the revolution is indeed coming. And the revolution will not be supersized, it will be minimized. And when the short people of this world unite and rise up, you might not be able to tell right away. But when steel-toed boot-shaped bruises appear on long-ass shins the world over, you will know that me, Gary Coleman, that kid from Webster, and Mini-Me, and Oompa Loompas, and fucking Prince, have finally had enough of your shit and begun taking over the world one step stool at a time. Represent! First time west of the Mississippi. Give it up for Erin.
I have heard that piece roughly 3,000 times, and I crack up every single time. It's just like, it's just classic shit. I don't even know what I got myself into. I don't even know. I don't fucking know. So, okay. I just having like the time of my life. You don't even understand. California before. I spent like 10 days in San Francisco. I put my feet in the Pacific Ocean for the first time. It's fucking freezing, but I was like, with the video camera, just like, turning it around on myself, like, So I don't know about here, but in Austin, there's people that are like on every median of every highway. They're always like looking for trying to like sell you flowers or like water, or like they just need 15 cents for a taco, or like it's like I need a beer. They're honest in Austin. Like I need to smoke another joint or something. So there's always like standing there like in the medians. And this is like my favorite story of all the interactions I've had with these folks. At the corner of Cesar Chavez and the frontage road swaggers the most fierce panhandling hand-me-down you've ever met. She wears her scowl like a crown. Two rhinestone eyes, tired black from years of neglect, stare back, reflecting nothing. Sunk set in original casting, and they ain't going nowhere, so skip the spare change. She knows her antique wrinkles, wind woven over her bone frame, are worth dollars. I know you got a dollar, she'll shout. Screeching scratches into your driver's side window with her crown, inking X's over your eyes with the residue of her own. She's a grave robber, greeter of Gomorrah, ushering on waves of funeral processions every 30 seconds, assuring us by her constant presence we would most certainly hate ourselves more should we lose grip and slip that perilous distance from our precarious single paycheck pedestals and not die, condemned to wander among the living wearing barely more than trenches in a roadside. From your carefree crystal afternoon window flows a funky sissy strut, and you roll to a stop at the center of the universe. You don't give a shit who hears you humming along off key. You, hey you, I know you've got a dollar. That your soundtrack makes out more like some commercial for Suede Skin and Pearls, playing some 3-station static TV set in a welfare lobby. Her gangster mannequin hands are calling you out from 3 lanes over. But it's okay. Today, you are off the hook. Today, you will not be lying when you say you have no change. Not even a dollar. Not even a nickel. I take credit, she threatens from the dotted line. Swaggers off in a funk.
That's it. That's the end of the story.
Everybody's neurotic. It's not just the people like walking the medians in Austin. We're all fucking crazy. That's why we sell all of our shit and pack it into rolly bags and come to Seattle later. This is a fucking great city. I'm having a great time here. I was worried because there's like so many big names that come out of this venue. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing up here, but I'm having a great time. And by the way, if you like anything you hear, we do have chapbooks and CDs and all that jazz, you know, standard shit. Come visit us in the back. We'll be selling them. Hugs, we like hugs too. Gets lonely on the road, you know, whatever. I get tired of snuggling with Big Papa E. We're always like back to back on the Greyhound, just like. He's always stealing my blanket. Bastard. Okay, there's somebody in the audience, I understand, that just got back from Iraq, so I want to welcome him home and got home safely. So I'd like to share a story about a good friend of mine and her brother and their relationship regarding the war, because it's very important to keep talking about this. This is still affecting people's lives every day. He must know how her eyes stare at him. From his unmistakable crew cut on down each brass button to polished patent leather, then back up crisp starched creases to confetti rest of patches finally landing on his name tag. Now, only sometimes do they make it back up to his square jaw, and on rare occasions they might meet his gaze. But his eyes are faded. They're smoldering like mortar shells gone screaming through hell. The sights stored in memory reflect sense of smell, and she wouldn't dare ask if he didn't want to tell. It drips off him, wanting someone to understand. The firstborn son, raised in an upper-class subdivision, turned college dropout, left without meaning as a man. And searching for approval, he landed in Afghanistan, his pride weighing heavy as that machine gun in his soft hands, and he wonders, how did this happen? Together they ask the same questions. Too many limbs lost to a cause explained only in catchphrases. Too many bullets fired over rubbled alleys of misinformation. Too many graves dug to bury baby faces. And sometimes she wishes the two of them could trade places, 'cause he must know how his eyes stare at her. From her unmistakable knotted up locks on down each protest slogan button, to scuffed and muddied marching boots and backup pants of patchwork trails finally landing on her unbound breasts. And only sometimes do they make it back up to her square jaw, and on rare occasions they might meet her gaze. But her eyes are faded, too long jaded by the underestimated significance of her countercultural presence in the face of a leader who would rather see her own brother die than admit to lying about why the U.S. went to war. See, this is not a battle over who loves our country more. This is a battle over preserving our nation's values, conflicted as they are. Hers is exactly the type of freedom he set out to defend, but believes is a too futile means to an end. And his is exactly the type of freedom she could never defend, because she believes it a too brutal means to an end. To be American is complicated, to say the least. To err is human. We all make mistakes. But then we all wonder why it takes so long to learn from them. So I learned from my friend and her peacemaking process with next of kin together. Around a dinner table, mediated by two loving parents, they settle conflicts that have baffled and plagued the greatest of nations. So God bless these heroes, that they may lead my generation. Thanks again so much for having us here tonight. Keep your applause rolling. Give it up a little more.
That's Erin Livingston. Give it up for Erin Livingston.
I guess I could sit there.
She came out of nowhere in our scene about 1.5 years ago, so she's still wet behind the ears, but goddamn, she's pretty damn good, isn't she? So, I used to live here. I lived here in 2001 for about 8 months, and then I moved away because I met this girl in Austin, Texas.
Big Papa.
The girl didn't last, but the city sure has. But I am homeless now, so I'm looking for a place to stay. Do you? Yeah. Can I share it with you? On what?
We'll just have to talk after the show.
Dude, this is better than like OK Cupid. I should do this. I have to pay a monthly fee or not? We'll talk later. So, we have a MySpace page. Do you guys know MySpace? Have you ever heard of this MySpace that all the kids are talking about nowadays? If you want to see our videos, we are doing a documentary of our travels across the country. And we're also interviewing people about what makes their life worth living, because this is what makes our life worth living. Because like living in a cubicle is what makes life worth dying. But this is what makes our life worth living and worth getting up in the morning. So we want to interview you about what makes your life, you know what I'm talking about? So talk to us afterwards. Oh shit, where'd my book go? Also, we post all of our crap, and if you want to be on our mailing list, and we'll just send you an email, no bullshit, but just, hey, check it out, here's some new shit. We're gonna have an email list. Please, please, please put your name on it, because it'd be nice to like develop a dialogue with all these people that we meet. Okay, here we go. I do a lot of gigs in high schools, and I was about to do this big high school gig in front of like 500 kids in West Texas. West Texas, which is like miles of ass, just miles. I mean, there's that desert beauty, you know, that you have to kind of know where it is to look, but if you're like 9 and you're driving along where no airwaves, no airwaves at all, no cell phone signals, you are fucked if you get a flat tire. Oh, and there's a town. And here's a kid growing up in that town going, I fucking hate my life. World of Warcraft all day long. So, West Texas, that, right? So, right before I was about to go, this girl comes bounding backstage with these red dreadlocks, and she's like, listen, could you write a poem for me? And I was like, I got like 15 minutes, what are you talking about? But she had red dreadlocks in West Texas, and a look of like, get me out of here. And I know that look, because I'm from Bakersfield, California, which is the shittiest butthole in all of America. Like really, if the United States is like this, right where my butthole is, that's where my hometown is, right there. Right there. And I guess y'all will be on my neck. Right? So, in 15 minutes I wrote this, and ended up being more about what I wish somebody had told me at 15. It's called Propers. This one goes out to those who refuse to be defined, who look at government forms as a challenge, who see the safe little boxes next to Caucasian and Asian, Black and Hispanic, and make their own little box labeled all of the above, who scratch out the question entirely and write their own names in large capital letters, who, when forced to choose between male and female, write instead, see attached 27-page document detailing why my gender and sexuality will never fit within the confines of your stupid little boxes. This one goes out to those who fight every day for the simple right to exist. For every gay kid ever beaten up for being gay. For every straight kid ever beaten up for being gay. It's a totally different poem, that one. For every girl who looks into the hungry eyes of magazine models and shouts, I don't need the body of a skinny 12-year-old boy to be beautiful. Gaze upon my thick thighs with envy. For every boy who winces when his friends measure their masculinity by how many girls they screw over and are man enough to call them out for it. For every girl who has screamed enough and marched with her sisters to take back the night from monsters who would rather they stay at home afraid. For every band geek who picked up a guitar or drumsticks or a French horn instead of a bong. For every poet who picked up a pen instead of a gun and expressed their anger with words and not blood. For every jock who refused to see those physically weaker than them as less than them. And for every teacher who risked their jobs by simply being there when no one else would, this one goes out to you. To those who refuse to define themselves by their GPA, by the size of their parents' bank accounts, by the clothes they wear, the music they listen to. To those who demand to be defined by their actions, not by their fashions. Who can't wait to turn 18 so they can finally vote those idiots out of office. Who refuse to be passive consumers in this self-centered nation and throw away their televisions and make their own movies, who throw out their PlayStations and make their own video games, who teach themselves to play their own music and write their own novels and create their own art. But most of all, this one goes out to the kid listening right now who thinks I cannot possibly be talking about them. The quiet kid, the one who never speaks, who never raises his voice or his hand, the one with no friends, who's never been on a date, the one ignored by parents, by teachers, by other kids. Yes, this one goes out to you most of all. Know this. I understand. I hear you. I used to be you. Don't you let anyone say your voice has no value. Raise your voice, kid, and don't you ever stop. I always do. So they made t-shirts with me. If you'd like a Big Papa E Goddess t-shirt, just let me sleep on your bed tonight. And I'll leave it under the pillow. I'm totally kidding. Her girlfriend's like, bitch, if you get near her, I'll fucking knife you. So, girls. Fucking girls. So relationships are really fucking complicated. Yeah, you know, and like, I like to talk to people, but I'm like a touring poet guy, and so when I get off stage, if I'm like, hey, what's up? It comes off like, say what's up. You know, it comes with a sound, like an implied soundtrack. But I'm just like lonely and bored, I want to talk to somebody, you know? I just want to say hi, and have it be genuinely like, hi, and not mean like, can I get in your panties? I don't want anything to do with that. I just want to talk. And it makes me wish I could go back. I know. Hi. Hi. Can I get in your panties? Oh my God! Did I say that out loud or did I just think that? Okay, because, oh God, I'm so embarrassed. But I yearn for a time when not everything had so many sexual strings attached, you know, where we didn't sexualize every fucking thing. And it made me want to write this about a simpler time. You know that time when like you would be driven to like the mall movie, you know, by your mom, and there's your classmate, and you're sitting next to each other in the dark, and your pinky's over here, and her pinky's over there, and suddenly you're like, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, ah! And she doesn't move it, and you're like, yeah! And then suddenly the soundtrack starts, wow, 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 and you're like, oh yeah, daddy. And she's like, oh yeah, daddy. And you're like, it's on to the break, it's on! And your little 10-year-old heart is like, oh! Like, and that was all you could hope for, man. You were just like, whoo, man, home run, what's up? So, yeah, I yearn for the time when a pinky touch is a home run. This is this. It's called Falling in Like. Aww. Okay, all the girls, ready? Okay, all the guys. I just made all the room just sound so gay right now. Except the one guy was like, no, fuck that, I ain't saying it. So this is Falling in Like. You make me feel goofy. Goofy like I blush when someone mentions your name. Goofy like I have a bazillion things I want to tell you when you're not around, but face to face I just stare at my toe making circles on the ground like I'm all thumbs and no place to put them. Like I just want to write you a note that says, do you like me? Yes, no, or maybe. Whatever random cool I've been able to harness leaps from my grasp when you enter the room and I feel old school. And by that I mean grade school, like back in the day when the space between wanting to touch someone's hand and actually touching it could hold lifetimes of passionate yearning. Cute girl in the front row. I don't want to make out with you. I want to make a fort with you, right in the middle of the living room with all the sheets and all the blankets and every chair in the whole house. A soft labyrinth scented with fabric softener and hot chocolate with marshmallows, lying on our tummies on the avocado shag carpeting and eating golden grams right out of the box. We'd be the best spellers in all the 6th grade spelling bee, and we'd spend our recesses in the library, quizzing each other over dueling dictionaries and encyclopedias and having cutthroat Scrabble wars. And you would always accuse me of cheating, but I still swear that ishkabibble is a real word. And if you got the chicken pox, I would ride my bicycle over across town on a Saturday and climb in through your bedroom window to hang out with you while your parents were shopping so that I could get chicken pox too. Then we could both stay at home from school and talk on the phone all day long and watch game shows and Twilight Zone reruns together and take breaks only for dinner and the bathroom until it was bedtime and we whispered into the phone under the covers in the dark until we got really sleepy and I would say, "Are you asleep?" And you would say, "Yes." And a little while later I would ask, "Are you still awake?" And you wouldn't say anything. And I would just lie there, listening to the sound of your breathing. On my homemade Valentine's Day card, I would write, "I like you," in sparkles and glue. Only my handwriting is so bad, all my K's look like V's. But we decide that's better anyway. I live you. We'd make pinky swears while biting our thumbs and cross our hearts and hope to die promises with words like always and forever and never ever ever. Promises you can only make when you're 10 and don't know any better. Back when 3 weeks at summer camp was an eternity and a change of schools a disaster. Back before pimples, before underarm hair, before bra straps and makeup, before graduation and college and graduation and real life. Back before resumes and jobs and careers and mortgages and marriage and divorce and debt and disappointment. Back when summers lasted forever. And our very first kiss on the cheek was the most awkward and scary and wonderful thing in the whole wide world. That's how I like you, you girl in the front row. Like a lot. So which is it? Yes, no, or maybe? How are we doing on time? Can we do one more each maybe? Is that cool? And then okay. What we'll do